Yes. It's Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And we are live. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. It's a Monday the 26th of September. And damn, the Raphie's tired. Got to bed late last night. We'll talk a bit about that. We'll talk a bit more about that shortly. But first of all, let me say hello and welcome to everybody. What is this? It's the Boxing Talk with Raphie. It's the wrap-up show, the weekend wrap-up show, the original wrap-up show, often imitated, but never bettered. Okay, so what we're talking about today. Obviously, we're looking back to Saturday night, to Joyce's tremendous effort against Joyceparker, New Zealand's Joyceparker, the Samoan. What a hell of a fight. I think I've watched that fight back a couple times, 2-3 times already. Not in its entirety, but in part. What a spectacle. So we're going to be looking back at that, and we're looking forward to what's next for Joyceparker. I mean, we did that in the post-fight show. We did the fight show and the post-fight show that kind of rolled, that kind of blended into one. And we did go in depth into the qualities of the Joyce. Went into depth, but we're going to be doing that again and going even into more depth because obviously, the Raphie's an analytical type of fella, logical type of fella, intuitive type of fella. And we're going to go even deeper than we did last time because I've refined some of my thoughts on the topic matter. Okay, so we're looking at that. We're looking at the Joyce, the Joyceparker. And we're looking at the anthonyjoshua, Frank Warren, Tyson Fury situation. We're looking at that malarkey, that smoke and mirrors from the Warren and the Fury, the smoke and mirrors, trying to besmirch a man's name, trying to bring a man into your games, trying to bring a man into your silly games. Yeah, silly games, Janet Kay. I know some of you remember that track. For those who don't, go look it up because that's right. I should have put that in the title. Fury, Warren, and their silly games. Remember that? Silly games. Silly games. Good God, the Raphie can't hit those high notes. The Raphie's voice too deep and too raspy for them kind of things. OMG. But yeah. There's a whole heap of things, a crocus bag of things that we're going to be looking into. Have I dropped the link? Did I? Okay, there it is. Let me just go ahead and pin that as a matter of fact. Rat-tat-tat-tat. I should have done a mic check. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Don't want any accidents like we had a week ago. When the mic was cold. The mic was not hot. Let's make sure we're good. Let's drop the beat, stop the beat, and check. Let's make sure we're good. Should have done a mic check. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's Raphie and he's back to business. Okay. So we're good. We're in good shape. Let's have a look. Who's up in here? Who's up in here? Smash that. As a matter of fact, let me take my own advice. Let me smash the like button. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. Where's the share button? Is there a share button there? Yeah, there is. It's right there. Okay, we're good. Let's have a look. Raphie's very tempted. The coffee's right here, but it's too hot. It's too hot for the Raphie to drink right now. Too hot for the Raphie to drink right now. There it is. There it is. So we're going to have to leave that to cool and simmer down. Let me have a look who's up in here. They don't want a war. They don't want a war with the juggernaut. I remember that. I did a video on that. The Count L is up in the building. Salute to the Combat Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio Nation. Hit that like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with news and notification. It's the Leon Figures up in the building. Warp drive activated. We are live. Big Juggernaut putting everyone on notice. More Fury BS. So what's new? Yep. Is at least it's consistent with his bullishery. Consistent with his bullishery. You like the way Raphie phrases that. You know, the Raphie can't hit those high notes once upon a time. Maybe you could have said that Raphie had a voice of an angel. But now I'm afraid it's a little bit too raspy. It's a little bit too raspy. You know what I'm saying? Cristiano Wu. Let's have a look. Listen. Let's have a listen to Christian NWO. Once again, AJ finds a way to avoiding top fighters in his division. Any other fighter would have signed that contract over a week ago. But of course, Eddie has to protect his golden goose. Well, I mean, that's a pile of nonsense for a start. What's Tyson Fury doing offering a guy coming off 2 losses a contract? A bogus contract. Well, let's pretend it's a bogus contract. Well, let's pretend it's a real contract. And then, so he's offered a guy coming off 2 losses a bogus contract, which he didn't want him to take anyway. And then he's got the nerve. Tyson Fury's got the nerve and audacity to say, yeah, come on, I'm giving you a favorable deal. 60-40. 60-40 to me when you're dealing with a bigger economic entity. It's like some guy, it's like some guy who's a lesser economic entity than me coming trying to make me an offer and saying he's gonna give me this, give me that. You ain't giving me ish. I'm a bigger economic entity than you. You ain't giving me diddly. You know, that's another thing. That's 2. 3. He wanted to fight Manuel Charr anyway. Manuel Charr came out and said, listen, Tyson Fury's already assured me some time ago that he'll be fighting me. Latter part of 2022. And it's the latter part of 2022. And Tyson Fury was talking about coming up like tick-tock, the clock's ticking. What are you talking about, tick-tock, the clock's ticking? You know what I'm saying? You probably wouldn't understand, but Anthony Joshua has sponsorships. He's working with various major companies, something that Tyson Fury doesn't know about. He doesn't comprehend. He doesn't understand how that works because, you know, he's not in that fortunate situation. So he don't know how that works. You don't know what it's like to be with a anyway. So, and then there's a network issues. Tyson Fury comes out, what is it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and says, yeah, I'm going to give him till Monday. To get back to me. Monday morning, Frank Warren comes out and says, well, the networks are going to be meeting and talking on Monday. So once again, a load of crapola. It's Monday. It's close of business already over here in the UK, and that's where the deal's going down. That's where the biggest heavyweight boxing deals have been going down. For the last couple of years over here in England, the UK, the home of heavyweight boxing these days, in this era, You know, you got an embarrassment of riches. Anyway, so the networks are supposed to be meeting today. I don't know what the outcome is, but it's clear that Frank Warren didn't want the fight. Tyson Fury didn't want the fight. He's just flapping his gums and talking gibberish, talking utter nonsense as per usual. Let's see what's yo, you know it, mate. You know it, mate. Viso up in the building. Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. I ain't seen you in a while. Good to see you up in here. Good to see that you're still healthy and you still got a computer or a phone at least. Okay. Where are we? What video? What video are we talking about? Let's have a look. Fury, the fraud. Yep. No question about it. Fury was never serious about that fight. Never. Not possibly. He was never serious about this fight. But Fury v. Charr possibly be a pay-per-view event. Well, they won't get $1 out of me. Might be a PPV, but they won't get $1 out of me. I assure you of that. Dang, they're really going to go pay-per-view on that. They're probably going to go £25 as well. Probably going to go £25 pay-per-view like it's some premium shizzle. Some premium shiznicks. You know what I mean? Nonsense. Okay. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff to get through. I don't know what I'm going to start with, the Fury stuff or the joyceparker stuff. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. No sugar, no cream. There it is. Can you see that? Can you see that there? Can you see that there? Yeah. It's got a certain taste. Got a certain tang. A certain tang. Okay. Where we at? Tyson got the media in his pocket. They know how to spin his narrative. He's got the media in his pocket. They're just chatting his crap on his behalf. He tells them what they want to say. And it's quite remarkable. It's quite remarkable how he sets the narrative and they just run with it. I saw Michelle Joy Phelps. She pulled a move. She pulled a stroke. On, as a matter of fact, let me cut this music because I didn't like the stroke she pulled. She was talking to Joyce and she put this solemn face on. Michelle Joy Phelps. She put this solemn face on. She said to Joyce, she looked at him, she said with the mic, and she looked at him and said, I read an article. I read something that you said you were upset with anthonyjoshua. He posted something or he said something and you alluded to him being fake. So I'm watching this Michelle Joy Phelps. I'm watching her with a lantern jaw. You ever seen a jaw on her? I'm watching her with a lantern jaw. And I'm watching the little devious snake-like ways. It was almost like Fury paid her. You know? Fury paid her, giving her some money, giving her a bung. He said, yo, next time you speak to Joyce, try and get him to say something negative about anthonyjoshua. So she said, yeah, it's almost as if you were saying you're fake. And Joyce kind of struggled to figure out what she was talking about. He says, he played this. He played a video of him knocking me out back in the amateurs. And well, I'm not saying he's a bad person. But I didn't like that. And Michelle Joe Phelps is like there and almost trying to get him to say that Joshua's a bad guy, is a fake guy, is this, that. But I've given her a pass. For a long time, but that was that seemed very uncouth. When has she ever When has she ever instigated, spoke to other boxers and tried to instigate them, saying that Tyson Fury is a bunch of crap, a pile of shit. He's a shit person. He's a liar. He's a he alleges he's gonna donate purses to the homeless, build houses for the homeless, and never does so. What a piece of shit individual he is. I've never heard her try to instigate other boxers to say that, but she was very comfortable, more than comfortable, trying to instigate a fighter to come out with negative things. She was literally trying to feed the guy. And I thought, I've heard a lot of crap about her. A lot of people talk ill of her. I've always given her a pass. But I must say, that performance on her part, that level of instigation, it seemed very, very uncouth. Very uncouth. What is this? PPV on WCW. Ha! £30, I would guess. It's the Gypsy King show. That's the Gypsy King money. £30? Really? Over the £25? How are they going to justify 30? How do they justify 25 for Joyce? For Joyce and Joe Parker. And to be honest with you, I was only interested in one fight on that card, and that was that fight. You know what I mean? I wasn't interested in the Serrano fight. I wasn't interested in the Conseco, whatever. Caracas, whatever that cat was. I wasn't interested in that fight. It was one fight I was interested in. One fight most people were interested in. One. Just one. £25 for that. I enjoyed the fight immensely, but still, ain't no £25. Ain't no £25 pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think it was a $9.99 pay-per-view. Michelle Joy Phelps has an OnlyFans now, apparently. Yeah, but she's not doing the, typical OnlyFans thing, and I think she's shutting it down too. It has not been a success. Just send Ty her way. Are you talking about Ty? What's his name? Yeah, I know you mean the cat. Yeah, I was watching his show the other day, and he got his bottles mixed up, because he has a bottle of wine and then he has a bottle of piss. He actually pisses in a bottle, pardon my expression. And he got his bottles mixed up, and he picked up his bottle of piss and started to swig from it. And then he realized that it was actually his own urine, pardon my language, his own urine. We're talking about TyFL. Yeah, he actually swigged his own urine. And that was kind of unfortunate for him. Spat it out on his carpet. OMG. Yeah. Slow Joe, a nightmare for anybody. Well, Raphie's been one of the few people who's been backing him consistently. Raphie's one of the few people who've been backing Joyce consistently over the last few years. And you know what I've been saying? If he's so slow, how come he keeps punching fools in the face? You know what I mean? How come he keeps punching fools in the face? You know what I'm saying? So, it's been like that. Fury Charr won't draw flies. Well, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what it does draw. I think where they're going to hold it. Are they going to hold it in the Principality Stadium? That place is going to be too big for him. You're going to be too big for him. You know what I'm saying? TyFL, he has a piss bottle. He has a bottle of wine, and he has a piss bottle. He just stands up, moves off camera, and pisses in the bottle. You can hear it as well. You can hear him filling the bottle. Well, he got the bottles mixed up. He wanted to drink from his bottle of wine, but he accidentally drank from his bottle of piss, and it was live. So he actually saw the man drink his own piss and spit it out. OMG. We have parliamentary procedure, please. And in comes our man from the Caribbean. It's the Iron Kong. Iron Kong, how do you do?
Hey, good afternoon, Raphie. What a strange way to bring me in. You said somebody drank from a piss bottle?
Yeah, it's a YouTuber, ex-boxer. He's a very unusual character. Um, Very unusual character to say the least. I do watch him from time to time, and but instead of a normal person, if they he's not normal. I think you'll admit that he's not normal. A normal person, if they want to go and have a wee, they would leave. They'll say, "Excuse me, I have to leave," even if it's just the one person, and they'd go and they'd relieve themselves in the bathroom, in the in a normal way. What he does is he thinks it's rude to leave his people, so he just has a bottle, could be any kind of bottle, and he just stands to one side off camera and pisses in the bottle. Well, the other day, I think it's very uncouth, but the other day, um, he got his wine bottle because he's constantly swigging wine. And he got his wine bottle mixed up with his piss bottle. And so we saw him pick up his piss bottle, and you saw him in real time, and he drank from his piss bottle and spat it out. It was
Jeez.
one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen in my life. And he also spits on his carpet. He just wants to spit. He just spits on his carpet. I've never seen anything like it in all my born days. Um, it's pretty gross. It's pretty gross. He spits on his carpet. But hey, whew, I mean, hey, he's different. He's different. He's not normal. And I think you'll admit that he ain't normal. He ain't normal. It's different. It's different. Different.
Raphie.
I think I actually took a picture of. I took a screenshot of him drinking from his
Oh
piss bottle.
man.
I think I took a screenshot of him drinking from his piss bottle. Let me see if I got it. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Files. Um, where's that? Where's that picture? There's that picture. I take a lot of pictures per day. Oh, there it is. let me let me hold on. Let me get that up somehow. Let me get that up somehow. Where is it? TB Tyrone Booth. I think that's his name. Tyrone Booth PB. So TBPB. Save that. Send that. And let's see if we can get that up. Where is that? Where is it? Everything slow? Everything going slow? Oh, there we are. There we are. Okay, so let's see if we can get this picture up. Where is it there? Okay, so do we have it? Oh, it's a bit small. Let's enlarge that.
Oh.
No, no, it's no gimmick whatsoever. It's no gimmick whatsoever. That was real. I was watching the live when he did it. I laughed my ass off. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know who was it. Who was it? Some boxers. Some boxers. Who was that boxer who used to drink his own urine? Um,
Marquez.
Marquez. Marquez.
Leota Machida.
Machida, exactly. Machida as well. Machida, the mixed martial arts guy. They drink disgusting. They drink their own urine. So, Time Booth is not he's not alone. He's not alone. Is that Michael Jackson song? You are not alone. Leota Machida. Yeah, man, they drink their own urine. Supposed to, recycle. They're losing some goodness. But yeah, that was pretty gross. Pretty gross. I must confess. Let's get that off the screen. But I did laugh. I did laugh hysterically. But you know, I don't know what's worse, spitting on your own carpet or drinking your own piss. I don't know. I don't know. But the fella is highly unusual, and I think you said it himself. Yeah,
blasted, nasty man.
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, absolutely. The spitting, the drinking of the piss just topped it off.
Blasted, nasty man. That.
Yeah. That's not healthy. That's not good. It's not clean. It's not clean at all.
So am I understanding that Fury said he gonna fight Charr? Let me say, I highly doubt he'll fight Charr. I have to hold out hope that he's actually gonna fight Joshua.
You actually believe
I don't think he's this stupid or deluded to not fight Anthony Joshua.
Well, I don't know what the latest is, but I have sent myself some links, so I'm gonna find out. What's the matter?
No, I started video it's and about his picture about Mahmoud Charr wants to fight and Joshua ducked him and all this, but I was like, nah, that's just Fury trying to, add more controversy to this fight or whatever. But you see, if I'm Anthony Joshua, I immediately call Eddie and tell Eddie, let me tell you something. Whatever y'all were discussing, stop. Immediately. Whatever meeting you and Frank and them talking about, stop. That's just me. Because
stop. What? Cut it off.
Yeah. Whatever. If I'm AJ and I call Eddie and Eddie's like, yo, I'm in the meeting, not going over the contract. If I'm Joshua, I tell Eddie, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Stop.
Why?
This guy ain't got no respect for nobody. This guy think this is a joke. This is a game. Let he go fight Mahmoud Charr, and let me start plan my fight for my original date, December 17th. I don't have no time for games. I don't have no time because there's always a danger that he would fight Mahmoud Charr, and you again allow Tyson Fury to waste your time. Just like with Usyk, when he could have fought Usyk.
Yeah.
The very year, and Fury wasted his. You cannot allow this man to potentially waste your time again. You understand? So, yeah. I think I'm hopeful that the fight would happen, but true, I know who Tyson Fury be, how ridiculous he is.
Yeah.
If I'm Joshua, I tell Eddie Hearn, whatever you're doing, stop. I won't have my time wasted potentially again. Stop.
For real. Well, you see, the problem is Tyson Fury's got, whoever mentioned it in the chat earlier on, Tyson Fury seems to have some kind of hold on the media. He got some kind of hold. He gives them the narrative, and they run with it. He gave them the narrative that I've sent Anthony Joshua an offer. And for a start, if you ain't sending a bigger entity, an offer. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but theoretically you are. But remember, Joshua is still the bigger entity. Even without a belt, he's still the bigger economic entity. So when you're saying you're giving him money, you ain't really giving him money. You're getting some of his money and giving it back. You know what I'm saying? Joshua money is bigger than Fury money. That's the reality of it. But let me just have a look. So the press are running with this thing. Oh, Fury's made Joshua a very generous offer. Joshua makes more money without Fury than with Fury. So how are you making a very generous offer? But anyway, let me just look. So the narrative they're running with this narrative that Fury is being very generous. Well, for a start, why is Fury trying to fight a man who's coming off 2 losses? What's that all about? What's that all about? That's bizarre in itself. That's kind of no ambition. If Joshua made an offer to a guy who's just coming off 2 offers, he'd be lambasted. If the roles were reversed, if the boot were on the other foot, you take a kick in, it'd be Joshua's made an offer to a guy coming off who hasn't won for 2 years. You see what I'm saying? So the narrative would be flipped around. So, but I want to just say, so it's just quite bizarre the way that the press are eating out of Fury's hands, because I think in the UK, they love a bullshitter, a blatherer, a blatherer. That's the polite term, a blatherer. What's a blatherer? Someone who just chats crap. You know what I'm saying? But in a way that the masses may find somewhat charming. So it's a crap talker. It's a charming crap talker. And the UK apparently loves a charming crap talker, because that's all he does. Talks pure crap, but he does it in a nice way, in a way that the hoi polloi, that the masses, the British masses, tend to enjoy. A blatherer. He's a blatherer. But let me have a look. So, but they're slapping it up. Let me have a look what the latest news is. It's officially over. Tyson Fury claims planned fight with Joshua is off. I'm just looking at the headlines, and I'll pull up one of the stories. Tyson Fury set Anthony Joshua ultimatum. That was 2 days ago. 1 hour ago, Tyson Fury heavyweight champion says Anthony Joshua fight off as deadline is passed. 1 hour ago, Tyson Fury confirms Manuel Charr fight as he praises the German's desire. 3 hours ago, Wales Online writes Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua Cardiff fight is off. So the latest ones is 1 hour ago. Tyson Fury confirms. Well, that's the Sun. That's a big publication. 1 hour ago, what's that? Talk Sport. Tyson Fury, heavyweight champion, says Anthony Joshua fight is off. The Guardian, big newspaper. 1 hour ago, it's officially over. Tyson Fury claims planned fight with Joshua is over. Let's go to Talk Sport. I think this is the Talk Sport article. Okay. Let's go there and let's pull this up and share it with the people. Damn. Let's have a look. Okay. Can you see what I can see on the screen? Yeah. Let's drop this down as well. Okay, what's that? 2, 4, okay, 6. All right, cool. Keeping minimal windows open. Let's have a look. Paste. Boom. Oh, we got in here. We got a bunch of people coming in. Link is in there. Anybody want to jump in? Feel free to jump in. Okay, let me just get into this article. Okay. Tyson Fury heavyweight champion says Anthony Joshua fight is off as deadline is expired. Okay. Tyson Fury says his proposed heavyweight title fight with Anthony Joshua in December is off after his self-imposed deadline expired. Okay, can you even see this? Is it visible? Let's have a look. No, a bit small. Let's blow it up just a tad. Just a touch. Boom, boom. Okay, it's better. Tyson, WBC Fury set an ultimatum for Monday for fellow Briton Joshua 32. Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn responded by saying there is no chance the contract will be signed by then. Well, guys, it's official. D-Day has come. D-Day has come and gone. It's gone past 5 o'clock Monday. No contract has been signed. It's officially over for Joshua. He is now out in the cold with the wolf pack. Forget about it. Always knew you didn't have the minerals to fight the Gypsy King. Regardless of what you say now, I don't really care. Good luck with your career and your life. End of. Peace out. Fury says Joshua doesn't want to fight him. And Joshua's team have already... Hold on, what's going on here? Joshua's team have already verbally accepted Fury's offer of a 60-40 purse split for a fight the 3rd of December and television executives from BT Sport and streaming service DAZN were scheduled to meet today, Monday. It ain't in my hands, it's with my legal... Oh, it's not in my hands, it's with my legal team, said Joshua on Instagram. That's why you hire lawyers. You know the history of boxing. Make sure you get your legal terms right. That's why you get good management and good lawyers. So of course I'm going to sign the contract. It's just with some lawyers at the minute. Fury said he would still fight on the 3rd of December if the Joshua fight fails. Last month, whatever. What's this? The Ukrainian said he plans to have 3 more fights before retiring, including unification bout with Fury. But Joyce is now the mandatory challenger for Usyk's WBO title after beating joyceparker on Saturday. Okay, so what's that? Savior of the worst team. What's that? Okay, so that is one article. That was from, what was that from? Oh, that was Talk Sport, BBC, Talk Sport. That's a reputable. What's Frank Warren saying? I wonder what Frank Warren's saying. The Guardian is saying the same thing. They're quoting, it's over. Tyson Fury confirms Manuel Charr. Looking forward to fighting a man who wants to fight and has the fire in his belly. So he's talking about Manuel Charr. Let's have a look what he's saying on his Instagram. Tyson Fury. Let's see what he's saying on his social media. Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look at this. Oh, hold on.
Tyson Fury.
Hold on. Let's share this. What am I sharing? Yeah, stop sharing that. Start sharing this. Boom. Okay. All right. Let's move this over here like so. Let's get everything centralized. Get everything synchronized. Okay. Let's go. Manuel Charr, what say you?
You know, and I know, that Anthony Joshua will not sign the paper tomorrow. Take my challenge. I'm ready for you.
Today is D-Day, people. Fucking D-Day. You're going to sign the contract, you big pussy.
Damn. Sorry for the language, people. If AJ don't sign today, you're in. Big G. You can show them how a real man throws down. Okay.
So, guys, bodybuilder, today's a drop-dead date. Get your lawyers, get your managers, and get everybody who thinks for you to sign that contract. I'm not extending till tomorrow. I'm not extending till Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a week on Tuesday. Today is a drop-dead date. And if it ain't signed, I ain't going to tomorrow. Just had Frank Warren on the phone. I am not going till tomorrow.
Anthony Joshua, you have the chance to fight the best WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Sign the paper. If not, go out and let Will's men fight. Tyson Fury. Come on, let's get...
Well, guys, it's official. D-Day has come and gone. It's gone past 5 o'clock Monday. No contract has been signed. It's officially over for Joshua. He's now out in the cold with the wolf pack. Forget about it. Idiot. Coward. Shithouse. Bodybuilder. Always knew it. Always knew he didn't have the minerals to fight the Hi guys, 5,000 of these will be signed.
World Boxing Champion Tyson Fury delays after party tour as he prepares for the next fight. Delayed until December when he will have a lot more to talk about. Okay, that's about his talking tour. Okay. Looking forward to fighting a man who wants to fight, has the fire. Fought some of the best. What? Oh, Tommy Fury's missus pregnant? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tyson, you make a good choice and good decision to fight the best. Brother, we will give our fans the best show ever.
So, Manuel Charr, this was all a setup. This was all a setup to fight the Manuel Charr. Yeah, it looks real. It looks real. ERF boxing, it looks real.
I'm not surprised, Raphie. I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. This was the setup. This was the layout. This is what I predicted. I done told you. I done told everybody. Well, he told everybody, to be fair. Tyson Fury told everybody. Manuel Charr told everybody. This was the game plan. This was the game plan all along. And yeah, they didn't want to fight Joshua. This was the game plan. This is the guy they wanted. It's interesting now. It's interesting now. Go ahead, have at it. I want to top up my coffee.
No, I just find it funny how there's a deadline today. I wonder if Manuel Charr's got his contract signed by today. Because clearly he needs to get on with it. So Charr's contract must have been drawn up and signed by 5 o'clock today. I don't know. Tyson Fury, this is the same thing over and over again. Every time a Joshua fight gets close, there's only one reason it doesn't happen, and that's because of Fury. So I'm not surprised. To be honest with you, I'm not really that bothered about the fight because Joshua, to be honest, needs a couple of tune-ups. Joshua should be fighting Emmanuel Charr, not Tyson Fury. You're coming off 2 losses. Deontay Wilder gets to fight Robert Helenius. And now people all of a sudden want to lambast Joshua for not fighting Tyson Fury, even though it's not his fault he's not fighting him. But people have a lot to say. But those same people are okay with Deontay Wilder coming back and fighting Robert Helenius.
It's crazy because you got Wilder, like you say, you got Wilder fighting Helenius. You got Joshua. You got Fury fighting Manuel Charr. Who the hell's Manuel Charr? Who's he fought last? You know what I'm saying? So you got that situation. You got that situation. These so-called champions fighting low-level opponents. And then you got Joshua, who's going to fight somebody who I would imagine is going to be significantly better than Charr, and probably significantly better than Robert Helenius. But yet you got the big Dasa Fury, and you got the big Dasa Fury, and the big accuser, the big defamer of character, guy who likes to have people's names in his mouth, defaming them. Deontay Wilder, you got them fighting low level. No disrespect to Helenius, he's higher level than Charr, but still relatively low level opponents.
I will say, at least Robert Helenius is coming off for 2 knockout wins against Adam Kornacki. At least he's fighting someone of late. Manuel Charr, I can't remember who was the last person he fought. I I couldn't tell you who the last person he fought was.
Fought that
So-
American guy. What's his name? Lovejoy or whatever.
Oh, that guy, the
Yo,
Lovejoy
that
guy
guy.
who wouldn't fight Dave Allen.
I mean, this is the guy who got out of some form of drug ban for the most technical of technicalities. He didn't actually deny that he took the drugs. He said you didn't do the B sample properly. Isn't that how he got stripped of his second WBA belt?
Yeah, that's how Trevor Bryan got the belt.
Yeah. And how long's Trevor Bryan been holding that thing for hostage? I mean,
Couple of years.
So when was the last time Manuel Charr was relevant, if he ever was, to the heavyweight division? I don't understand why they think doing the bait and switch is going to make this fight sell. I can think of a much better fight for Tyson Fury that I think might have sold all right for Tuna.
because John,
Otto Wallin rematch. He's a southpaw, so he is preparing him for Usyk better than Manuel Charr at least, and at least there's some intrigue in it.
he has no intentions of fighting Usyk. He has no intentions of fighting Usyk.
I can believe that.
Because why are you calling anthonyjoshua out before an Usyk fight? They're totally two different fighters. You said you want to get this fight done by the 3rd of December so you can prep for Usyk. How are you prepping for Usyk by the two opponents that you're linked to? Those two opponents have nothing in common with Usyk. None of them are southpaw for one, and none of them are pure boxers. So I have no idea why. And I've said it before, he has no intentions. His golden goose was fighting Deontay Wilder, and he'll live off of that. And that's it.
Yeah. It's crazy to me, the defamation, the defamation. I mean, we look at it as a joke, but you know, there's a lot of people out there's a lot of casuals who will be taking it in and who will be believing what Tyson Fury's saying. We made an offer. We sent an offer in. We sent an offer in, and anthonyjoshua declined. A lot of people are going to.
It's not just the casuals though, because you've got Spencer Oliver going on Talk Sport saying, "Oh well, it's a straightforward contract. Joshua's had it for 10 days, so he should sign it." Oh, but I haven't seen the contract. So if you haven't seen the contract, how do you know it's a straightforward contract? Just because Tyson Fury said it's 60-40 and it's happening December the 3rd, you don't know what's in that contract. You can't say it's a straightforward contract. And there's someone like Joshua who has countless of sponsorships and stuff he has to go through while signing a contract to see if he's not breaching any of his deals, what he's got. It takes more than 10 days for your lawyers to go through it properly and go back and say, well, we need this changing because of this.
Did you hear the entirety of that, Eric?
The Spencer Oliver?
Yes, yeah, because they'd spoken to Frank Warren before that, like a minute before. So Talk Sport is just a total mouthpiece for Queensberry. The fact
I've
that,
noticed.
Conveniently, just as it's drive time, they've got Frank on the phone off the cuff, like we're supposed to believe that. They're just trying to control the narrative. And since Frank Warren's been being interviewed all week in the build-up to the Joe Joyce fight, his main purpose when talking about this fight has been to blame Hearn and Joshua for it not happening. Long before we were at a point where we needed to think about it not happening.
Well, the thing is, John, what I find funny is
Friday.
This negotiation is supposed to be between Eddie Hearn and George Warren. Frank Warren actually had nothing to do with it. Frank and Eddie don't speak, so it came out that it was between George and Eddie to sort this contract out. When you hear from George and Eddie, it's all positive. Yep, we're trying to get it done. There's a few things, whatnot. You hear Frank, oh, well, if it doesn't happen, we know who to blame. If it doesn't, it's like, why are you so pessimistic about this not happening?
But what's worse, though, is last year when they were trying to negotiate these two to fight for, no, was it this year? Was it last year?
Last year.
So they're trying to
no, this year. Was it?
Trying to
No.
I actually can't remember. It's been going
What are we
on.
talking about?
Last year.
Yeah.
Fury, Joshua, undisputed. It was last year.
Yeah. So all we heard from Frank is, why is he talking in the media? We're trying to get a deal done. Why is he talking in the media? We're trying to get a deal done.
Yeah.
When it's Frank, and Frank wants to talk to the media, all he wants to talk about how he'd be a fool to turn it down. He can't possibly turn this down. This is the best thing that turn it down. So if it gets turned down, it's all their fault. That's pretty much what he's been repeating all week. And how long did they have a contract from Eddie Hearn? How long did they sit on that contract to then turn around and say, yeah, the deal's done on social media, and the very next day announce the Deontay Wilder fight? And this seems to be a strategy for announcing fights. I'm going to try and make Joshua look bad by making out he doesn't want to fight me somehow. And then I'm going to get the person who's really fighting to start doing call-outs the day before so I can announce that. I mean, who honestly, what? I don't understand what TV executive could finance a purse for Manuel Charr, Tyson Fury.
But Manuel Charr came out about 2 weeks ago or something like that, saying that he was fighting Tyson Fury.
Yes.
He came out 2 weeks ago saying that.
Well, Sean Fury said it in the week, didn't he?
Yeah, his brother said it. His brother said it as well. His brother said, no, he's not going to take that fight. He's going to fight someone like me.
Yeah.
Raphie knows that I've been thinking it's going to be Manuel Charr for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
But
and it's been and they've been saying it. They've been saying it themselves. They've been saying it. Fury's been saying it. Manuel Charr's been saying it for weeks.
Yeah.
It's been an open secret. It's been an open secret. When was the first time that came to light? Fury versus Charr. I'm sure it's been talked about for some considerable time.
It's more than 2 weeks, Raphie.
Yeah.
Right. It is more than 2 weeks. It is more. I can't remember when it is more than 2 weeks.
When it first emerged, but it's been out there that was the fight for some time.
I think it's been running not much different to the actual call out. Maybe 2 weeks after the initial call out, maybe a few days.
I think it came before the call out.
Possibly.
I think it came before the Joshua call out.
It came out because people was questioning who Fury was going to fight, and it was Manuel Charr. And then all of a sudden, Fury then calls out Joshua.
That's right.
The Charr fight was on the table and in the media before he called out Joshua. And then when he called out Joshua, that Charr talk sort of went quiet up until this last week, where you started hearing Fury giving ultimatums and all this stuff. But what they're forgetting, like Spencer Oliver saying, he's had the contract for 10 days. When the Queen died, they stopped negotiations.
Yes.
They stopped talking.
Yes.
About the fight for respect. So he hasn't had it for 10 days. His lawyers hasn't had it for 10 days. So it don't matter how long. Basically, what they tried to do was what George Kambosos did to Devin Haney. Tried to give it and Top Rank. Tried to give him a low ball offer, hoping he'd say no. He turned around. He said yes. But the difference is Tyson Fury's gone, oh, actually, he said yes. How can I spin it? Right, I'll give him a deadline. And he knows what happens with those deadlines. No one goes by those deadlines. And it's not a deadline in the contract. It's not even a deadline in the contract. It's a verbal deadline on social media.
Yeah.
Well, Frank actually said in the interview today that BT and DAZN actually had a meeting. So it might get signed tomorrow and it's okay. And they're still only doing that to string everybody along. And Frank's been interviewed over the weekend. Oh, no, it's not a real deadline. That's just Tyson, but he's fed up with Joshua messing around. How long do you really need a contract for? He's had it for 10 days. Why doesn't he just sign it? It's like, yeah, but when Hearn sends you a contract, you sit on it for as long as you can to find a way out of fucking signing it, and you never get called out for it.
Yeah.
It's mental. What I just can't believe is, I've been in work today. I've heard people talking about how Joshua's a pussy, doesn't want to fight him. People rung into Talk Sports straight away, talking about how Joshua's a pussy and he doesn't want to fight him. Wow. And it's just like,
I find it funny that Joshua is being called out for quote unquote being a pussy or whatever for not fighting him, but no one's actually calling Tyson Fury out for going after Joshua when he's just come back off for 2 losses.
Or what about calling him out for fighting Manuel Charr?
But
What planet do we live on with that? If you can't fight Joshua, the only person you could possibly face is fucking Manuel Charr. There are higher
it's crazy.
weights more deserving of a title shot than Manuel Charr.
It's crazy that they refuse to look at Tyson as the man he actually is, rather than this what do you call it? This blagger, the blagger that he is.
Reflects so poorly on their intellect as well.
Well, yeah, but that's what he is. He's a blagger. He's a blagger. They refuse to see Tyson Fury as the blagger, which he is.
I don't know, Raphie. I also think
he can be held up as the guy who took on Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder took him on. Deontay Wilder didn't want to fight what he considered to be real stiff opposition. Deontay Wilder was scared to fight Dillian Whyte. Deontay Wilder was scared to fight Anthony Joshua, but he wasn't scared to fight Tyson Fury for lesser money. He thought Tyson Fury was a safe bet. He thought he could beat Tyson Fury, and fighting Tyson Fury was a safe bet. Well, he bit on a what do you call them things? He bit on an olive, forgetting that it's got a stone in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And he cracked the tooth. He cracked the tooth. Almost happened to me one time. You know what I'm saying? When you get used to them pitted olives and you get a real one with a stone in the middle, hey, it comes as a bit of a shock to the tooth. So the only reason Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury was because he thought that he was fighting a soft touch, a guy coming off the couch. Now they've rebranded that. And they've with the Tyson Fury faction, and they've made it look like Tyson Fury took on the Man of Steel. Well, the Man of Steel was too scared to fight Dillian Whyte. The Man of Steel was too scared to fight Anthony Joshua. And before that, the Man of Steel, the so-called Man of Steel, was too scared to fight Derek Chisora years before that. So this whole Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder thing, it's almost a myth. It's almost a myth. What you had was a guy who was too scared. The Man of Steel was too scared to fight the top heavyweights of the time. And Tyson Fury, just coming back, was not an established top heavyweight. He'd been out for 2 years. So it's mythical. It's mythical.
The Povetkin one's one of the worst because Povetkin didn't actually break any rules after that adverse test come in, and the fight should have actually gone ahead. But you're always going
to be on a losing wicket arguing that one because they won't accept it. It doesn't matter what you're saying is correct. But
it doesn't matter.
The thing is,
anything anyway, Raphie. So we may as well.
The thing is, the same thing happened with Luis Ortiz, but he rescheduled the Luis Ortiz fight.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to go
on. That's my argument to them when they say something about a drugs test. Is that, well, the exact same thing happened, but he chose to reschedule the Luis Ortiz fight because he knew it was an easier fight.
So why didn't he reschedule?
Because he didn't want to go to. He never wanted to go to Russia to fight Povetkin.
He didn't want to fight Povetkin anyway.
Has he defended? Did he defend his belt outside of his country?
Never.
This is the big question.
Oh, no, he didn't actually.
Ask whenever Deontay Wilder's involved. This is the question you have to ask: why was he protected? And the reason he was protected is because they know he can't take a punch.
Yeah.
That's the reason. The biggest puncher he's been in with is Tyson Fury.
And he's been knocked out twice.
Think about that.
The feather duster. Who has typically been a feather duster. Feather duster, Tyson Fury. That's what he's typically been before he got with Javon.
Well, we don't even know he is a big puncher now, Raphie. I mean, lots of Oscar Rivas isn't a big puncher. He's put he's put Dillian Whyte down.
Well, that's always my argument with that, John, is when they say, "Oh well, Fury's this big puncher." He's fought Deontay Wilder, knocked him out. Everybody knows he can't. Well, He can't take a punch. He can't fight on the back foot. You put him on the back foot, he's vulnerable. He always has been, and he always will be. The Dillian White one. Dillian White's been knocked out cold by uppercuts twice previously. He's been knocked down previously. We know his chin is weak when it comes. And this is what's crazy: is people call Joshua's chin's weak, but when someone who's been knocked out cold by uppercuts, he actually doesn't get told he's got a weak chin. I don't ever hear people saying Dillian White's got a weak chin.
It's the AJ hatred, and everyone that hates AJ, if you say anything positive about him, just draw for the fact that you're a fanboy. I can criticize AJ. I can tell you a lot of things that I'd like to see him improve on, but I'm not about. I like people that actually try and be honest and do what they say they're trying to do. Maybe he won't ever live up to that, but I know that he's tried. And a lot of people seem to prefer, people just want to control narratives, talk absolute nonsense, like Deontay Wilder and like Tyson Fury, and they want to just suck it all up. I mean, it's just horrific. Manuel Charr. All that this headline should be about is Fury the pussy fights another Duff.
It'll never happen. It'll never happen.
It
will never happen. And I think BBC, since Tyson Fury's come back to England, BBC and TalkSport and that, those are the ones that were shaming him before when he went on his hiatus. Now these lot has doubled back, and now going with his narrative.
Yeah. Well, you see, everybody knows everybody knows a bullshitter. Everybody knows a bullshitter, and a bullshitter is a constant fountain of bullshit. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, they are constant fountains of bullshit. They've always got a story. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't have to be sensible. They've always got a story. And the story could be, especially with Tyson Fury, he could say one thing one day and say the exact opposite the next day and say something different still the day after. So with Tyson Fury, you're never short of a headline. Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, we're trying to dissect why the press seem to love Tyson Fury so much in the British press these days. Anthony Joshua, he doesn't really talk to the press that much. He doesn't talk to the press very much at all. He seldom talks to the press. Tyson Fury, the opposite. He's always got a story for them. He's always got some more BS for them. He's a constant source of BS for the press. He gives them, he gives them column inches. They give him column inches. And they love him for that. They love him for the fact that he's a constant source of BS. And they love him for it.
He gives them clicks. He gives them clicks and views.
Watford.
Clicks and views.
AJ was out in Watford handing out money the other day. And he does stuff like that where he doesn't really want the press to know about it. He's just out doing it. And then you got the opposite in Tyson Fury. Oh, I'm going to give all my purse to the homeless for a headline, but doesn't do it. I mean, that just sums them both up. One's full of it, and the other one...
I can't see how people don't see like a massive... How is Manuel Charr wanting a Tyson Fury fight, but being best friends with Tyson Fury at the same time? Oh, I will fight you, champion. You're the best. You're this. You go into a fight being like, how? How is it you calling Anthony Joshua a pussy for not signing a contract, which you haven't signed yet, by the way? And then you're also doing another video going, yes, brother, we're gonna fight this. It's like listening to Joseph Parker again. It's ridiculous. You want to fight with this guy, and all you're doing is, yes, you're a real champion. I want to. Let's give our fans the best. Shut up.
You see, the thing is this, and I've kind of alluded to it before, but the thing is this: sincerity is all in the popular media is almost frowned upon. sincerity, I repeat it, sincerity in the popular media is almost frowned upon. I watched this documentary, and it was on just mute your mic, gentlemen, mute your mic so I can hear some background clicking. So sincerity in popular media is almost frowned upon. I watched the documentary, and it was about some fake preachers. You know, preachers, put your hands on the screen, and the devil will leave from your household. It will leave from your area of work. You've been having some problems at work. It will leave you alone. Just type in the numbers down below. Call in and make a pledge and get the devil out of your life. Put your hands on the phone, pick it up right now, and make a pledge. And the bigger the pledge, the quicker the devil will leave from your household, so long as you come under the tabernacle. And so, and they did a documentary, and these people, you know, these false prophets, preachers, they had found it, you know, with exposés, they had they had earphones in, and they'd say, is there a Sheila? Is there a Sheila? I'm seeing an S. Is it Sheila? Is it Sheila? And Sheila would stand up. Yes, Sheila. You come from Tuna Fish, Wyoming? I see a T. Is it Tuna Fish, Wyoming? Yeah, Tuna Fish, Wyoming. Yeah. You lost somebody who was very special to you not too long ago. Yeah, I lost my gran 10 years ago. That's it, your granny. I'm seeing an E. Did she have an E in her name? Yeah, her name was Sheila too. Yes. And these false prophets, these preachers, these manipulators of men and women, who were busted and exposed, were in the newspapers and on the TV and on the media, exposed and busted. You know what happened after a couple of years? They came back, and people forgave them. And you know what the crux of the story was? People just want to believe in a good story. People just want to believe in a good story. So if you give the people a good story, they don't care whether it's true or false. They just care about how that story makes them feel. And with the Tyson Fury, with the Deontay Wilder, they will feed the people bullshit stories until the cows come home. Do people care if those stories are real? No, they don't. They just care about how the story makes them feel. Now, you're looking at Anthony Joshua, generally considered to be more sincere than the other two, but he ain't won a fight in 2 years. Anthony Joshua has not won a fight in 2 years. How does that make the general populace feel? It don't make them feel good. So Anthony Joshua would have been better advised to just fight anybody, and get a win. And he'd get a win by fighting 90%, 98% of other heavyweights. That ain't a problem. He'd get a win by fighting 98% of heavyweights. But I told you before that a casual friend of mine who described himself as a casual, says Anthony Joshua's made his fans wait for 2 years to get a win. And that's unacceptable. So I'll say it again. The truth don't matter to the populace. What matters to the populace is how you make them feel.
Well, on that note, I think you should fight Zilizan and then Hrgovic. Because if he fights Hrgovic, it's IBF Mando. And those mandatories get called. There's no point fighting Hrgovic straight away because the IBF's a bit of a way off, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Pulev was the IBF mandatory, so it's the last on the rotation anyway.
Yeah, I think after after Hrgovic's last performance, which he lost, in my opinion, Joshua would stop Hrgovic. I think the Zhilei Zhang fight is probably a better fight anyway. It's a bigger fight.
It's a money, definitely.
Yeah, it is a money fight. I'd like to see Joshua in there without somebody. Tyson Fury shouldn't be calling Joshua out anyway, and I believe Joshua knew it was a bluff. I think Joshua and Eddie Hearn knew it was a bluff. They knew he never wanted to fight, so they said, "Yeah, let's do it. We'll see where put your money where your mouth is."
Gone through with it. I think they would have gone through with it.
I think they would have gone through with it. But what I'm saying is, they did exactly what they were supposed to do in that situation. Because they turned the fight down. Tyson Fury goes, "Oh, well, I tried to fight him. He didn't want it." He's still going with that narrative now. He's going with the same narrative, but it doesn't hit home as well as it would if Joshua had said no. Joshua said yes, so now he's put a deadline on it all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's put a deadline on it. It's BS. Once again, it doesn't matter what the truth is. What matters is how the story makes people feel.
Yeah. If Tyson Fury really wanted the Joshua fight, there wouldn't be a deadline on this fight because it's not an ordinary fight. It's probably the biggest heavyweight fight you will get in a long time. Even Joshua coming off of 2 losses, this is bigger than any other fight. Barring the Usyk fight because of Undisputed, I understand that. But it's the only other fight that makes Tyson Fury the money. It's the only fight that makes Tyson Fury the money that he could possibly want.
Yeah.
Well, let me say, I still expect the fight to happen. I don't think Fury's that stupid to fight Mahmoud Charr. But then the reason why he probably would fight Charr is because we still don't know how them Dillian White pay-per-views went, right? And you probably have to spend out a lot of money on Dillian White, but you don't have to spend a lot of money on Mahmoud Charr. So you can probably do a cheap pay-per-view with him. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and I guess take the risk or whatever. I don't think the fight's off the table. Maybe Tyson Fury is being him, trying to just add more controversy and all this nonsense. But like I told you before, Raphie, if I'm Anthony Joshua, I call Eddie and tell Eddie what the situation is. Stop all communication. I will not allow this man to waste any more of my time, any more of my career. He's been through that already with Tyson Fury when he predicted I'll probably end up fighting Usyk because Fury is a waste of time. He said so on video. I'll probably end up fighting Usyk. But he went ahead, tried to do all the legwork in Saudi Arabia, wherever there was, try to get the fight done, and lo and behold, Tyson Fury bullshitting. So I mean, I expect the fight to happen still. Why not?
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is, if I'm Joshua, I would tell Eddie Hearn to cut off all communication. I don't care what meeting you're in. I don't care what you're going through. Cut communication right now.
You know why you can't do that?
Why?
Because the press are gonna come out. Fury's gonna come out. Warren's gonna come out, and he's gonna say, well, just like we expected, Anthony Joshua, Frank, Eddie Hearn, they're a bunch of BSs.
Well, let me say,
they've called it off.
The English sporting media has already cast their lots behind Tyson Fury.
Yes.
Right? I'm gonna reserve my reasons why, because I don't want to sully your show.
Well, we know the reason. We know why.
I'm going to, well, you know what? How I might say it might be a problem.
Yeah. Well, hold on a minute. I think I can say that without saying recourse.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's because he's a white man.
Yeah, he's a white man. Anyway, carry on.
Well, I would say even to that. You see, it's even more hypocritical because he's not even the preferred white man. If there was another option, these people wouldn't be rocking with Fury because he's of this quote-unquote gypsy origin. But he's white enough.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And people will tell you, oh, no, you're wrong. We support Joshua, whatever. No, you supported him because Deontay Wilder was on the other end. And you kind of supported him through gritted teeth. Like, you didn't really want to support this guy, AJ.
I think the polarizing thing was when Anthony Joshua went on the Black Lives Matter march, to be honest with you, Kong.
Well,
Before
that's
that,
also
Before
that's
that, the
also.
people.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Before that, they were less polarized. I think it really polarized them because here, I think if you tell white people there's racism in the UK, they take it really personally, get offended, get angry, and react really badly. And I think that's what Joshua did on a large scale by going on that march.
I think.
And a lot of people predicted it at the time. It was going to dent his popularity in a big way.
Well,
and then
you know what?
Is to not even rebuild it. That's what I think anyway.
I think further to that is that he didn't walk back the comments. On his social media, he said, "Who don't like what I said, go F yourselves."
Yeah.
Right? You know, it comes a point when you're a person, when you just have to speak up. You know what I mean? And the people who don't like Joshua didn't like him in the first place. And I'm glad that he sees the hypocrisy that is being displayed, especially on the sporting media, for that reason, where normally these people would not like Tyson Fury. Normally they wouldn't like him. But because Joshua is not playing the good Negro for them, he's not playing the palatable Negro, now all of a sudden, you know what? He's white enough and we can support him. And that's a big reason why Fury, I mean, everybody likes a winner. I mean, let's keep it real. But the truth is Joshua has been everything that you want in a fighter. He hasn't ducked anybody. He's offered people the biggest paydays of their life. Hasn't ducked no mandatories, has gone after every belt possible. He's done everything you want out of a fighter. Tyson Fury dips in and dips out. He's a ped cheat, a liar, a person who lies about giving to charities and all this stuff. But he's loved. If I'm Joshua, I tell Eddie Hearn, immediately cut off all communication. Let's start planning my fight December 17th. I cannot allow this man to waste any more of my career. I'm sorry he had to go to that, Raphie, because I know you have some people in your, in your listening audience who do not like these topics.
They've left. Mainly they've left. One fella who left, he came back under an assumed name, and he wrote on the comment section of one of my videos. He says, "You're a black supremacist."
Okay, well,
I would like to know, my good fellow, you know who you are, and I know who you are. I would like to know what element, what part of the Raphie, where is there any evidence to suggest that the Raphie is a black supremacist? Now, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you why you call me a black supremacist is because I am simply a man who looks at the evidence and I break it down and I call it like I see it. That, my friend, is not black supremacy.
Well, Raphie, I'm sure that same person wasn't saying that when you was lambasting Deontay Wilder for doing what he was doing.
No, that was fine. That was fine.
It was patting me on the back.
Yeah.
It was approaching Raphie with a cup. It was coming up to Raphie on their knees with a cup.
Well, let me say to that person, blame me. I didn't want to bring it there. My good partner there, John Dealey, doing the round off, is the one who started out. But if you want anything like that, you can attack me.
On the panel to speak fairly on the subject, Kong.
Well,
I also say as well, I do know some black supremacists, and Raphie most definitely is not one.
Well, what I was saying to the person, if you want to attack somebody, I've told you people here before, I'm a Pan-African black nationalist. That's my politics. That's me. I'm a black nationalist. I don't believe I'm supreme to anybody, but that's my politics. So if you want to say something about black this and black that, you can blame that on me. Don't punish them for that. So if you're sensitive and you want to attack somebody, but these are, that's what I feel. I've always felt like
Well, it ties in with the Joshua thing. Sorry to interrupt you there, Kong, but it ties in with the Joshua thing because Joshua's in a similar position. Joshua speaks for equality. I speak for equality. And because Joshua speaks for equality, what do they say? Oh, he's a black supremacist. What? Because you're speaking for equality? I speak for equality. So if a person who speaks for equality, a person who aspires to have a society which is a little bit more equal than it currently is, if you're going to define such a person, if they are a person of color, if you're going to define such a person as a black supremacist, which you've done with Joshua, then I guess that's why this individual did that with me, because I advocate for a society which is a little bit more equal than it currently is. But yet I also understand that sometimes, and I see it and I feel it and I see it and I feel it, and I see what I see is that sometimes you get the impression someone's saying, you're cool, but I'm watching you to see that if you do move in a way I don't like, or if you say something I don't like, I'm ready to attack you. I'm ready to attack you, and I see it and I feel it, and sometimes I'll play with it. You know what I mean? I'll play with it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? In so much as that I will say certain things. I will say that, hey, this society is not equal. It ain't equal. You take a look around you. I'm talking about England, the UK. You take a look around you, and it ain't equal. It's still unbalanced. The society.
They only like you when you're winning, for Raphie. That's it. When you're winning, they'll like you. That's as simple as
when
that.
you're winning. It's when you're winning and when you because listen,
when you know your place.
When you're winning for them.
Joe Louis, they actually instructed him. They told him to, you best play humble. You best play humble. You know, don't go acting like Jack Johnson did. Don't go acting like Jack Johnson did. Don't go acting uppity. You played humble. You know what I'm saying? You make sure you appease. You make sure you're an appeaser. You don't say anything controversial. Your role here is to appease. Yeah? And if you're not an appeaser, because Joshua was not an appeaser at one time, one mistake. If you make one mistake, we'll have you. Because he was not an appeaser on one occasion, they switched up on it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I brought that point up anyway, so I have to agree.
Yeah.
Anywho, hey, gents, I'm not gonna be on for much longer. Hey, I want y'all to be easy here. Boxing, John Dealey doing the round off. And the great Raphael.
I'm gonna have to just tell you now. On the way down from a back to muscle, Kong, you keep saying round off. The round off is how you get the momentum to get up there.
Listen, man, as a person who is well skilled at doing round offs, okay, I know a round off when I see one. Okay, hey, y'all be easy. Have a great evening, man.
Yeah, take care, Kong.
That was the Iron Kong 26. He's got his own channel. Be sure to check him out. Leon Figure says Frank Bruno hardly won, and they loved him. But yes, Bruno was humble in his nature. He's humble in his nature, very humble, very humble.
No, that's a lie, though. That's a lie. Frank Bruno was winning. He lost the bigger fights. They loved him because he was winning.
He won a lot, but he was also humble. He was also humble.
Yeah,
but Eric, I think the things that potentially push Bruno over the edge are the things that we're discussing here. I mean, are you old enough to remember the HP advert?
Yeah, I'm 32 now, so yeah, I do.
And one of the things that really upset Frank when he had his breakdown reportedly was the fact that he'd been called an Uncle Tom. I think it was a big contributing factor to him actually having the breakdown afterward. There are other factors, but when you delve into what's been reported about it from his close friends, I think it didn't sit well with him at all. But that is and was his social media presence. He was non-threatening.
Yeah,
and you look
he's a friendly Frank.
If you look into the people that get lambasted in the media, from Jack Johnson, Sonny Liston, Ali as well, for a very long period of time, they're threatening to the hierarchies that exist that support the racism that we're talking about. Really,
yeah.
If you're not an appeaser, they're gonna come after you. They're gonna come after you. You got to be on message. You got to be on message. You got to be something of an appeaser.
It depends, doesn't it? Because if you look at Ali, they were all over Muhammad in the 60s. But then when they had somebody who reminded them of Sonny Liston and Ali was able to beat him, all was forgiven. And there's no question.
Hold on. Are you saying that after Ali beat Liston, all was forgiven?
No. I'm saying when someone reminded them in the 1970s of Liston, who was champion, George, first incarnation of George, Sonny Liston, intentionally so on George's part, so he modelled himself on. It was beating him that really got favour in the media with Ali. I don't think Ali was a media favourite until he beat George.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's an interesting point. Joshua's Eddie Chambers DMs were black supremacist in nature. Those DMs were hacked. Those were hacked. Those were hacked statements. You can hack. That's what Joshua said. You can hack DMs. You can hack Instagram. You can hack Twitter. He said they were hacked, and people laughed and said, "Ha ha ha! Yeah, of course they were hacked." But hacking goes on every day. You know what I'm saying? Hacking goes on every day.
I think there's enough evidence to suggest he's not a black supremacist.
Yeah, there's plenty of evidence to suggest he's not a black supremacist. If you look at his whole team, if you look at his team, his grandma, his family tree, is the area where he was brought up. It's very mixed. Everything's very mixed in Joshua's world. So it's quite more mixed. Ironically, Joshua lives in a more mixed world socially than Fury does. But yet, it's like perception versus reality. Perception versus, see, I'm big on this. Perception versus reality. People would rather believe the perception than the reality. I'm big on this shizzle. It almost doesn't matter what the truth is. It matters more what the perception is. Raphie studies this shizzle. Believe you me. Raphie studies this shizzle. It ain't about the truth. It's about the perception. It should be about the truth. Well, it's not really.
Yeah, that's why Fury makes videos constantly, to control the perception of the conversation and what's happening.
There you go. It ain't about the truth. It's about perception.
It has never been about the truth to Tyson Fury. It never has. He contradicts himself too much for it to be anything about the truth or reality. You come out, you call out Joshua, then you give him a deadline to sign a contract. If you really wanted to fight that guy, you would do everything in your powers to fight him, not force someone to sign something they haven't read properly.
It's a consistent pattern of behaviour as well. Every single time Tyson Fury's had a fight since his comeback, he's been talking about Anthony Joshua. All the wilder build-ups were about Anthony Joshua. They'd always announce a fight date on a Joshua media week. It's just continued.
Yeah. It's all the time. That's what happens constantly.
The baffling thing for me is, genuinely, this is a massive question. How do they hope to make any money out of Tyson Fury fighting Manuel Charr? I don't care how small Charr's purse is. Fury's not getting in the ring for peanuts. And how are they going to cover the sales?
I think I can answer that one because I think what Fury's been making has been highly inflated.
Yeah.
What Fury's been making has been highly inflated. That's the only way it makes sense. Boom.
I agree that it has been highly inflated because I don't believe the figures they've put out. But do you really think they're going to make £5 million profit off this? I mean, how many ticket sales are they going to sell? How many pay-per-view buys are they going to sell from?
John, it doesn't matter because they won't disclose that. But they're the same ones that are quick to lambast or make a narrative about Joshua's numbers when they come out. But they're the same people that don't put numbers out. They never put Fury's numbers out.
As a commercial business, you can't keep taking a loss.
But I don't believe, like Raphie said, I don't believe they are taking a loss. BT aren't taking a loss. They can't afford to take losses.
Well, they're up for sale, I think, because they haven't been doing very well.
Well, make minimal profit. You see, they can put on a show and make minimal profit. They can cover their overheads. As long as they cover their overheads and make a minimal profit, they're good. They're good. Business can still run. Cover your overheads, make minimal profit, and have the perception of being more successful than you actually are. You're good.
Well, I mean, that's great for the public media, Raph, but it doesn't help anybody's bank account. I don't understand, like, whether you're going to fight Usyk or not, the Wallin fight could probably actually have a bit of commercial viability without a lot of risk. Why doesn't he just do something? I mean, it's not like Otto Wallin.
Wallin almost finished him last time with the cut.
Yeah, but in his last fight, who did he struggle against?
Who?
Wallin. He went 12 rounds with someone pretty poor.
Yeah, that
wasn't it Breezel?
No, it wasn't that good. I think it was someone worse than that.
Was it not that Soloksky or whatever his name?
Oh, let me have a look.
Sokoloksky or something like that. I'm sure it was him who we fought.
It was terrible, and it's like all person knows full well all he's got to do is keep him on the end of his jab and step back, and he can win that fight and just stay away from trouble.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, in all seriousness, Otto Wallin almost finished Tyson Fury.
But that's why the fight would sell.
And that's probably why Fury don't want it.
You think he's actually that? Because, I mean, he did get in there with Dillian. I mean...
He had to... Did he have to get in there with Dillian?
He could have dropped the belt and he probably could have got away with it the way they controlled it.
Yeah, he didn't want to drop the belt. But he was forced
to. He probably could have got away with it because he still had the ring then.
Yeah, Wallin's fought. He did fight Sokolowski. But his last fight was Rydell Booker. But it was a Sokolowski one he was terrible in.
It was Rydell Booker.
Yeah, well, that says you all. Who the hell is Rydell Booker?
Yeah, exactly. It's like...
Yeah. But styles make fights, though. And Wallin gave Tyson Fury a hell of a fight.
I also think there was an element of Tyson not bothering to train.
Yeah, Tyson underestimated him that fight, and it was...
I think he thought he was going to come Schwartz all over again.
Well, why don't he fight Otto Wallin again then? If Wallin was that easy, why don't he fight him again?
He has had bigger fights since then. He's fought Wilder, hasn't he?
No, but he's fighting Manuel Charr now.
But that's the point. That's the very point I'm trying to make, Raphie.
Yeah, and I'm saying to you that if they thought that Wallin was so risk-free, they would be fighting him instead of Manuel Charr.
But Charr is cash-free. I mean, how's that going to make a penny?
Well, I personally would rather they fight Otto Wallin. But they're not going to do it. There must be a reason.
I buy money at the weekend on a pay-per-view. I buy pay-per-views. I spent my money on the Dillian White pay-per-view. Nothing could make me watch Fury fight Manuel Charr for free.
No.
I wouldn't watch it for free.
Well, I will watch it. I will watch it for free. I will watch it for free, but I wouldn't pay a penny for it.
I wouldn't see the point in watching it for free. I mean, what for?
Well, I'm going to be covering it. We're going to be talking about it on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio.
You produce content, Raphie, but for me, as just a fan, there's nothing there for me to watch at all. You know, I can understand.
Who's gonna be buying that thing? Who's gonna be buying that? I think the Fury fans are going to be buying. I think they're going to buy it.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how many are really committed to it, because I think the
Fury fans don't buy pay-per-views.
They don't buy it. This has been the warm-up for that fight. This has been you already know this. I know I'm preaching to the choir. You already know this, but this has been the warm-up. This has been the advertising campaign for the Manuel Charr fight. This whole thing has been an advertising campaign for the Manuel Charr fight.
That's why
every fight Fury has, it happens. Every single fight.
That's why I'm talking about the money behind it, because to me, I can see ways to actually make more money for Tyson Fury than going through all this circus by fighting better opposition. And I just can't. Do you really think he's that terrified of getting in the ring with Otto Welling? Because if he is, he's got no business in the heavyweight division. I mean, let's have it right.
Well, there's got to be a reason he doesn't want to get in there with Otto Welling, because it's the logical thing to do. It's the logical thing. It sells itself. Otto Welling, it's built-in advertising. Otto Welling, the man who almost stopped Tyson Fury. They show the cut. They show the nasty gashes. It sells it bloody self. It sells itself, but they don't want it. There must be a reason that they don't want that fight.
But then people let him walk around like he's Muhammad Ali, and people know I'm not Ali's biggest fan. But he went life and death with Fraser, and he got back in the ring with him, and he went life and death with him again, and he did it for a third time.
Tyson Fury ain't no Ali.
I know. He's not fit.
I know, you know. I'm talking to the people.
But the narratives that they get away with, it boggles my mind that you can't even give a low-level fighter who managed to get cut against you a rematch for a tune-up when you haven't got a big money fight. And Frank Warren's out there going, I don't know what Joshua's going to do if he doesn't take this fight. What is Fury going to do? Fight Manuel Charr, and what's it going to be after that?
People will rush to Joshua to fight him. People will rush to Joshua because Joshua is still the money man of the heavyweight division.
I was just about to say that, Raphie. I was just about to say, don't matter who Joshua fights, he'll be earning more money than Tyson Fury will be.
We went through some massive fights on Saturday, Eric. We've turned reviews. Like the Zhili Zhang fight in China is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If they're going to do that in China, it's massive.
Yeah.
Another fight that's totally under the radar because a lot of people don't think about this. But fact is, Joyce is Nigerian as well. Yeah. Doing that fight in Nigeria is massive. It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too soon for the next one though, because Joyce has just come off fighting, so that's too soon. Yeah. But even a Dillian White rematch is way bigger than whoever Tyson Fury is going to fight.
Yeah.
If I'm not sure if they're going to do that rematch, but that is a big fight, Eric.
Yeah.
It's not like the O2 in its sleep. It might. It certainly does something bigger than that. I mean, I don't see how you sell out the York Hall with Manuel Charr.
No, I said that. I said I want to know where they're going to put it because it ain't going to the Principality. That is not going to the Principality. So I want to know where they're going to do it. Is it going to be at the Manchester Arena?
It's the only hope you got selling it out. Because if there is somewhere where he's got dedicated hardcore fans that might turn up to his fights, it's Manchester Arena.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going to end up. But saying that, isn't that where Joshua's fight's going to be on the 17th? I think that's where they're talking about going on the 17th.
I've heard that. But I think it depends on the opponent.
But tell you what, that will be quite funny to see the difference
in ticket sales.
Yeah, that'll be pretty funny.
Sell out at the Manchester Arena against a dud. I think for one fight, people would go to see him just because it's a homecoming fight. I think they could get away with it once. Well, I think the pay-per-views would be pants. The ticket sales would sell out in an arena.
It won't be. That can't be pay-per-view. It won't be.
Well, how are they
It
going to
can't
afford to pay Fury anything? I mean,
It'll have to be. It'll have to be pay-per-view.
no, he's not going to do it for less than £1 million, is he, Eric? I mean,
The same way that Joyce Parker was pay-per-view.
Listen, we
Fury,
don't know if
Fury versus whoever. To listen, it's also about perception. It would have to be pay-per-view. They'd have to do it for what.
I also think, Raphie, the Dillian White fight, the money what Tyson Fury got for that, well, the purse bids or whatever they were, that probably was designed to do the Dillian White fight and then his next fight being a tune-up part of that purse. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me at all.
Purse. I think it was a fake purse. I don't believe.
Well, that's what I mean. What the purse could have easily been split between two fights.
Yeah. It's fake purse. It's a fake purse. The figures just didn't add up. Didn't add up whatsoever.
But I don't get what the broadcasters get out of putting Manuel Charr on their platform.
It's a bizarre choice. Tyson Fury. What does he do?
When did Manuel Charr get in the rankings for the WBC? Because I mean, what
recently
he had to get into?
This one. He's only just got into it. This one. Him and Joshua. Both him and Joshua got into it.
Joshua's fair enough because he's been a champion rankings, but
they dropped Charr in there as well because they knew that Tyson.
I understand why they've done it.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is, what fight has he had to warrant this?
No.
He has never had a fight, has he?
No, but then that was the same way how Tyson Fury got in the WBC rankings.
That's very true.
He hadn't any fights to warrant that either.
He had 2 fights. I mean,
He hadn't had any fights to warrant being put in the WBC rankings.
Not to warrant, but has Manuel Charr even had a fight at all, Raphie?
No.
I mean, the Silver Surfer and Pianetta are not good enough to get you any type of ranking whatsoever.
No.
But Manuel Charr's been inactive for how long?
At least what, two? Hold on, he fought Lovejoy. Sorry, he fought Lovejoy.
Yeah,
no, he actually fought this. He's fought twice this year.
Oh,
no, once this year. He's fought
Lovejoy.
No, not Lovejoy. He had a fight this year. Lovejoy was last year.
Oh,
he fought Nikolai Malacic.
And what's his rank?
21-3 from Germany.
21 losses, 3 wins.
Yeah, and he lost his fight before Charr by knockout as well in the second round.
He sounds like he might. Is he actually a heavyweight, Eric, or is he some form of light heavyweight? That's just a bit fat.
Let me have a look. No, he is a heavyweight. Yeah.
What they call him, Manuel Charr? What they call him? Mahmoud Charr.
Mahmoud
Charr.
Then I think he switched it from Mahmoud to Manuel, but his actual real
he switched it from Manuel to Mahmoud now.
Yeah, but I think his
was originally Mahmoud.
Was it originally?
Name, yeah. And that to make him more palatable to the Germans, he called himself Manuel, I think.
Yeah.
And then he's just reverted back to his actual birth name.
He's reverted.
He's
reverted.
Is he Turkish or is he from the Middle East?
Probably Middle East, some Syrian or something like that. Syria. Oh, damn. How you like that? Syria. Yeah.
It's Syria.
What was it? Birthplace, Beirut, Lebanon. Nationality, Syrian. Okay, damn. It's a mixed bag of nuts. Where is it? Chris Lovejoy, 2021? Is that 2021? Nikolai Malik, 2022. Okay.
He's got 2 people in the top 250. And miraculously, he's ranked in the WBC. A governing body he's never been really ranked in before because he was a WBA.
Well, in all honesty, that's what gave it away that he was going to fight Tyson Fury. Him going into the rankings, what gave it away he was going to fight him, because there's no need for Manuel Charr? Who was petitioned for Manuel Charr to be in the top 15?
Well, the
Who
only
was
person
petitioned to it?
for
Frank
him
Warren.
is well, it might be Bob Arum actually, because I don't think Frank can afford to pay the to fill the brown envelope. I think that's this is because Bob Arum's not said a single thing about Anthony Joshua fighting Fury, has he?
You know that
Yeah,
Frank.
Bob said.
You know that Bob Arum is getting a slice of every Tyson Fury purse until he fulfills his contract, which is 2 more fights in the USA.
Bob said this Fury Joshua fight ain't gonna happen anyway.
He said it's not gonna happen.
But Frank was saying we're in negotiations, and Bob said no, it's not happening.
It's not happening. Bob knew that, but Bob is still getting a slice of each Fury purse until Fury fulfills his contractual obligations to have 2 more fights in the USA. Now, Tyson Fury is not allowed in the USA. So when is Tyson Fury ever going to get the opportunity? Tyson Fury, for the end of his career, it is possible that he may never get the opportunity to fulfill his contract with Bob Arum and ESPN.
Do you know what would be good, Raphie?
What's that?
If when he retires, Bob sues him for breach of contracts and takes him for every penny he's got.
And makes him pay back all of that ESPN money, which was once again inflated as well. Those figures were inflated as well, because when they asked Bob Arum about the numbers, he said, well, I don't know nothing about those numbers.
He might know about when he comes to sue him for breach of contract.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to be going for top dollar in that instance. Yeah, man, it's crazy, the Tyson Fury thing, the way Tyson Fury has been able to, well, I don't even know if it's manipulating the media. They're going along with it. I don't think it's a manipulation. I think it's them willfully going along with it.
It is now. I think, but he's always been able to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he drowned out the Nandrolone story with all his antics, he completely drowned it out. The amount of people who think that I had some person arguing the toss with me in a boxing chat about how he tested positive for an inhaler and somehow convinced himself that it was.
They've got him mixed up with Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah,
he mixed up with Billy Joe.
I got him mixed up with Billy Joe because that's what they blamed for when he pulled out of the Andrade fight.
Yeah. Only a casual would think that Tyson Fury had cheated. It was just an inhaler, is what he actually said to me.
Wow, that's crazy because it only takes a Google search. It's only
but they don't want to search, Raphie. What you're saying about perception, they want to believe he's beat mental health. I don't even believe he has a mental health problem. I think that's part of the cover for just ducking out of. He decided it was better to say he was retired for 2 years than serve a ban, because then he's not tarnished with the media associated with it.
For real, it's a cover up.
It's a total cover up, and it worked.
Yeah.
Well, and it worked.
Like I said, people
come back. He's got Bunts. He's got all of Talk Sport. He's got the BBC, all just lapping it up because, like you say, it's not headlines he's providing anymore. It's pure clickbait.
Yeah,
and that's the money. He's like the clickbait champion of the universe, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, he's good at talking absolute nonsense and making it.
Yeah. It's not about what's real. It's about what appeals. It's not about what's real. It's about what appeals.
You've got to appeal for 3 seconds to get someone to read it and click on, because that's his job then.
Well, the appeal is, I've come back from mental health. I was down at my lowest. One day I got in my Ferrari. and I saw a bridge. I was coming up to a bridge, and I thought, this is it. So I put my foot down on accelerator, and I just aimed for it. And then I heard a voice. Said, no, what about the missus? Think about the kids at home. How are they going to feel? And at the very last minute, I pulled away. And since that day, I thought to myself, no, there's a bigger purpose in this. I'm here for a reason. And then next day I went down to the gym and I run 10 miles. Well, I walked it. I walked 10 miles. I walked 10 miles. And you know, since then, I ain't turned back. Don't get me wrong. I'd fornicated. I've been to the curry houses. I've been to the whore houses. I've made my mistakes. And not for a minute. And not for a minute will I ever say that I won't make another mistake. But believe you me, I know there's a bigger purpose for the Gypsy King. That's what they love. Bullshit.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
Bullshit sells. Bullshit sells.
It doesn't. It creates clickbait, Raph, because I still don't think the tickets and the pay-per-view for this manual chart is going to do.
But it sells column inches at least.
Get the click.
He sells it to the media. The narrative sells. That's all that does.
Yeah.
It gets people to believe him. The money doesn't show it, but everything else does. Joshua's earning more by a mile than any other heavyweight.
Yes.
But that doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter now. If it was Tyson Fury who was earning all this money, it would matter. It would be, oh, well, what's Joshua offer? He has no value. He has this. Now they can't use the money side. They need to use something else. It's a constant narrative. They can't. Tyson Fury can't use the money, so he's using the fact that he's saying he's scared. This guy has tried to fight you 3-4 times. You had the option to sign with Matchroom to get that fight. You chose to go a different way. You had the chance to sign the contract before the Deontay Wilder thing came on.
Yeah.
You decided to sign the contract the day before, not knowing that verdict was going to happen. You knew that verdict was going to happen.
You knew it was coming.
You've missed one out as well, because he was after Deontay Wilder turned down the fight in April 2019 to fight at Wembley. They offered it to Fury on 60-40 split, and he turned it down.
Oh yeah, he turned that down.
And that was a 60 split. Everything was done. No commitments to ES. Did he have an ESPN commitment? I'm not sure.
No, he didn't even have a. He didn't have a commitment by then. Anyway, he only got the commitment a bit after the Wilder first fight. I think
so he's just that was after the first Wilder fight.
Yeah.
So, but either way, 60-40 UK Wembley date. He didn't even entertain it. He didn't even ask for a contract. He just said no.
Comedian, straight up comedian, and the media are having it, but the Raphael Dawkins certainly is not, and it's not going to fly over here. I'm always going to be a fly in the ointment to that.
I've got a bone to pick with you, Raphie, about that graphic.
Sorry?
I've got a bone to pick with you about that graphic.
Yep.
That is far too flattering a picture of Frank.
I knew you was going to say that.
Much worse out there.
I knew he was going to say that.
Well, lizard face was lizard. Well, I like the patriotism with the flag in the background. I thought that might appeal to a certain demographic, or might tickle them, or might antagonize them. You know what I mean? Or might antagonize them a little bit.
Probably get a bit hot under the collar seeing Frank looking that good, Raph.
Well, you gotta tickle him. You gotta stimulate him.
Get it in, Raph.
Yeah, gotta get it in, mate. Gotta get it in. And you also notice at the bottom of the screen the original wrap-up show. Say no more. But we can't leave.
Elephant strikes again.
You gotta keep on poking. But we can't finish this thing without talking about at least certainly touching, because I think we did it comprehensively. On Saturday, post-fight show. Well, it was the fight show, then it became the post-fight show. But Eric wasn't there. Did you watch that fight? The Joyce.
Yes, I did.
Talk to me.
I did.
Talk to me.
Oh, entertaining fight from every second of every round was entertaining.
I've watched it 3 times.
I my opinion on it, I felt that Joseph Parker's, as long as he was landing, but his whole game plan, I don't know whether it was a game plan or he got in there and thought, I can't win this fight on points. And all he tried to do was counter punch and knock Joyce out. Because every time his body work was very good to try and slow Joyce down. But the shots to the head, it wasn't combinations. It was always either a overhand right or a left hook or an uppercut. There was nothing else behind it. It was sort of shots to get Joyce off of him. And I felt like he didn't have any confidence in winning that fight on points. All he tried to do was knock Joyce out, and clearly that was never going to happen.
Well, I mean, you say clearly it was never going to happen. He caught Joyce flush a few times.
A lot.
Yeah.
But I'm saying clearly it wasn't happening because Joyce didn't look hurt not once. With the big shots he was taking, he never looked hurt. He carried on plodding forward. And Joyce, I do like him. And people are saying the Wilder fight and whatnot. If he can take Wilder's power, yeah, he could beat Wilder on points. But there we go. I don't know if he could take Wilder's power because it's a lot to take. I mean, he took a lot of punches from Joseph Parker, who doesn't really hit that hard. Compared to the bigger hitters. And Deontay Wilder, he doesn't just have, when he throws it once, that's it. He's shown that he's got the same power from round 1 to round 12. So, yeah, I don't know whether Joyce could take that power constantly all fight. Maybe he'll be able to take it early and carry on. But I'd be very surprised if he could take it for a full 12 rounds. But I think he could beat Wilder if you put him on the back foot and constantly throws in combinations. He doesn't really need to land too flush because I think Wilder gasses out just from the pressure of a fighter rather than getting touched. I think the mental pressure of someone constantly being in front of him, constantly pressing on him, sort of gasses him out. So Joyce has a good chance. But it's a fight I'd love to see. I would love to see that fight. I don't know who would win, though.
Eric?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Johan Juhaupas Deontay Wilder fight?
I did, but if you try and tell me, I could not remember what happened in that fight.
Juhaupas was stopped on his feet, and the reason that he didn't... I mean, apart from the fact that I don't believe in Deontay Wilder's power, but... the important part about his tactics were that he kept going forward, which meant Wilder couldn't set his feet. And Juhaupas had a reasonable jab. Now, if you go back to the fight on Saturday and the fight against Daniel Dubois, Joyce got a very good jab.
Very good.
Wilder from setting his feet, he won't throw his right hand properly.
Yeah. Well, that's what...
He's actually tailor-made for Joyce. Just because of his boxing weaknesses. As for the power, if it's what it's billed as, then he knocks out Joyce. I just don't think it is. Because I don't think Joyce has got this indestructible chin. He's been knocked out in the amateurs with big gloves. Not a puncher. If you watch a lot of the fights he had when he was being built up, he took out real low-level journeymen who'd been knocked out a lot of times late on. Whereas most people had taken them out early doors. So taking Joseph Parker's power isn't really a measure of his chin.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. But I'm just saying it's not even the power, it's just the amount of times he gets hit. That's where I say that if Wilder can land that right hand, I don't believe that right hand is as powerful as everyone's making out, but I do believe he has power. He has power in that hand. But it just goes to what I'm saying is if Joyce can take it, because as much as Wilder can't throw it on the back foot or whatnot, he will land it at some point. Because Joyce isn't this fighter whose defense is very good. His defense is lacking massively. Massively. So Wilder without being able to set his feet to throw it, he can still throw it and catch Joyce because his defense isn't very good.
The thing is, I've seen much worse boxers than Joe Joyce go to the late rounds against Deontay Wilder because he couldn't really get off on them.
Yeah.
That Wilder would have is once Joe's inside pounding on his body like that, he's the helpless baby for Joe Joyce. 271 pounds he was.
271. Joe Joyce. What do I think about Joe Joyce? And his chances against the top guys. I think we kind of did it, but we could revisit this because maybe not everybody who watched that show will watch this show and vice versa. So we could have a quick little looky. Could have another looky. What's that there? Oh, got too many windows open.
Have they updated the graphic yet, Raphie?
Hold on a second.
Raphie's kicked himself out.
I think he has, yeah. I just think against Wilder, Joe's got the right style to
yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
Wilder's chin's horrifically bad.
It is bad. It is bad.
I think probably pretty much glass to the body as well. So
my thing is if Tyson Fury can knock him out, Joe Joyce that certainly can. But I think, like you said, Joe's jab would probably control Wilder too much for him to be able to land that right hand. But in my opinion, it's still Joe's defense. His defense is so lacking that I believe Wilder can land it. Whether it makes a dent or not is a different story. But
I'm going to put something to you. How many times did Daniel Dubois land on him?
Oh, quite a lot at the start of the round.
I thought he was avoiding the right hand in his movement.
No, because at the start of most rounds, Daniel Dubois would do a flurry, catch Joe Joyce a couple of times, but then gas himself out.
Okay. I'll concede that because I don't remember that well. It was a genuine question.
Yeah. No, he was catching him, but he wasn't. He was catching Joyce. Joyce was riding the right hand a lot, but he knew the right hand was coming from Daniel Dubois. That's the thing. He could see it coming. It was that slow of a right hand. He could literally see it coming all fight. So when he was throwing it, he was getting caught with it, but he was also taking the sting out of it as well.
He was riding it. Joyce
because I would agree that's for me, what's better about Wilder's right hand is its unpredictability and its speed. It's hard. It is a hard punch to read because it's so unorthodox, and Wilder's pretty fast with it as well.
Yeah, he is very quick with it.
He's quick with it.
It's interesting because he's been doing it for a long time, and if you're doing something for a long time, there's chances are you get pretty good at it. You can get pretty good at it. But what I'm saying is that when I look at Joe Joyce, and I look at the other top 10 guys, Hrgovic, styles make fights. We did see it was a bit of an awkward. It was a little bit awkward for him against Jennings a couple of years ago.
He struggled in the Jennings fight.
Yeah, he struggled.
He struggled to pin Jennings down because Jennings is a boxer, and he just struggled to pin him down.
He did struggle. Jennings
also got actually quite a big reach advantage over Joe.
Yeah, Jennings has a deceptive reach. It's a reach advantage. Yeah, I think he got 4 inches? 4 inches, 84.
He's got a 4-inch reach advantage, and he's got a foot speed advantage.
Yeah,
so he's a boxer. He brought some tools to the table in that fight.
Yeah, styles make fights, and that was the tale of that fight. But Filip Hrgovic, just saw him out there. Kind of, I think Zhilei Zhang kind of showed some things about Hrgovic's game that kind of highlighted certain things. Let's just say that he's underpowered. Not many people thought Zhilei Zhang was going to have more bang than Filip Hrgovic. Not many people predicted that.
I think, Raphie, as everybody else did, I think Hrgovic also underestimated Zilizang because I didn't believe this fight would go 3 rounds. I thought Hrgovic was going to get in there. Just watching Zilizang's previous performances, I just believed that Hrgovic was going to go in there and destroy him, and that's not what happened. And I think Filip Hrgovic, after a couple of rounds, realised, I won't be able to get this guy out of here.
Well, we thought that Hrgovic was a far better fighter, the far better.
100%.
Turned out to be the better boxer, but not the better fighter.
I think
Zilizang was a better fighter, a heavier puncher, but Hrgovic was, with his skill, he was skilled enough to outpoint Zilizang.
The thing with Hrgovic is, though, we've been led to believe he's a powerful puncher.
Yeah.
Either Zilizang has got a better chin than Joyce, or Hrgovic's power is like pretty. Definitely.
Hrgovic's power has been overrated, I think.
Yeah, that's what I believe as well.
Yeah, I believe it has been. I
mean, you can't make sweeping judgments based on just one singular performance, but I think his power.
He landed pretty consistently on Zilizang though throughout the fight.
I think his power's been overrated. We're gonna have to give him another chance. We're gonna have to see what it looks like in the next. But I will put my money on Hrgovic's power being overrated.
And that's the thing. I also agree with that notion, Raphie. But also, this is his first step up fight. This is the first fight where he stepped up to a level he's not been at before. And the comparisons I have with that is when Wilder fought Stavern the first time, because Wilder was knocking everybody out before that Stavern fight, and then he gets into that Stavern fight, and for me, that's probably his best performance in a boxing ring.
I think so.
And he gets into that fight, and he can't knock Stavern out.
Yeah.
And he was landing on him, but he couldn't knock him out, and everybody was saying, oh, actually, he's finally stepped up, and that power might not be what it is. Yeah. I'm not saying it is what it is, because the fighters he went on to fight after Stavern was no better than Stavern apart from Fury.
Yeah.
Who he also didn't knock out, Eric.
So exactly. So what I'm saying is Hrgovic, it could be a case of it was his first step up. He underestimated this fighter, and he couldn't.
I'm not going to judge him on just that one fight.
Yeah. So I agree with you that you can't really judge him on that, saying he has no power. It might have just been everything aligned that day that it wasn't going to work out for him in that way.
Yeah. That's why I'm not going to judge on one fight. You got to look over several fights in the competition.
What about the fact that he didn't really fancy it as well, though?
Well, I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident that what I think now is what I'm going to think in three fights time. However, we're going to give him a little bit. We're going to give him a chance to prove otherwise.
Well, that's fair enough. But my question is, he also showed a distinct lack of dog in that fight.
Well, listen,
he didn't want to pair up with a big man, did he?
But this is the thing. I think he totally underestimated what it would be like, and when he got in there, it was totally different. He didn't think it was going to be like that. So it sort of can zap your energy, thinking you're going to do one thing, and that one thing you thought you was going to do, you can't do it. So you end up burning a lot of. Because he seemed to gas out as well. He seemed to gas out a lot. In a few rounds.
Zilizang gassed out worse, though.
He did gas out worse. But Zilizang was also doing more work. Yeah. I can see why he gassed out. Because
active to make himself gas. Yeah. And the other thing is, when's Philip's gas tank ever been tested before?
Yeah, never. Exactly.
So, I mean, it just all round, it's worrying that potentially, and I agree, it's too early to say, his gas tank's not that good. His power's overrated, and when it comes down to a bit of a dogfight, he doesn't like it. It's a bit of a concern for me, anyway.
Well, that's how it's looking right about now. We're gonna have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Next 2 or 3 fights, and we'll find out for sure. But moving on to number 8, we're talking about Joyce. I'm looking at Joyce, and I'm saying, well, how is he gonna fare against Luis Ortiz, who did it the other day, but then I listened back to that, and I didn't really go into much depth on this, so I'll do a little bit better this time. Luis Ortiz got dropped by Charles Martin, got dropped by Andreas the Punch Ruiz. and I think he gets dropped, if not finished. Finished with exhaustion. Finished with exhaustion by Joyce. He's a southpaw, as was Jennings. Jennings is a southpaw, is he not?
Yeah.
Jennings
Jennings is a southpaw.
He's had a little trickiness with the southpaw, but I think he stops Luis Ortiz. I think he stops him. Combination of exhaustion and just the pressure, just the constant pressure. And it's been a few years now since the Jennings fight, so I really do think that either way, Luis Ortiz is going to get beat by Joe Joyce.
Well, if you look at that Jennings fight, every fight Joe Joyce's looks better. Yeah. Luis Ortiz has been on the decline since the first Deontay Wilder fight.
That's true.
And even in that fight against Andy Ruiz, how many times did he get dropped? 3 times?
3 times. 3 times.
3 times by somebody who can punch, but he was just stood in front of him. If you're going to stand in front of someone like Andy Ruiz and allow him to tee off, well, it wasn't even tee off. It was just one shot. It wasn't really combinations what dropped him. And when Joe Joyce does get you pinned, he does let his hands go.
Yeah, he does let his hands go. I think it'd be too much
You could really argue that Luis Ortiz has been in decline since he beat Brian Jennings.
Well,
That one's been
he struggled with Dave Allen after that.
One's been declined.
Yeah, struggled with Dave Allen.
The Tony Thompson fights, they were terrible as well.
Damn.
I say he struggled with Dave Allen. He struggled to stop Dave Allen early,
Yeah. And obviously, we've just seen what he did to Joseph Parker. Knocked him out. Fight had never been knocked out before. I know a certain amount of that was due to Joseph Parker being exhausted, but also, having watched the replay several times, Joe's eyes did go into separate orbit. So
did they?
That was a legit knockout.
The left hook landed.
Yeah, I've heard it said by some of our Southern Hemisphere cats. I've heard it said that I've heard it said by one of our Southern Hemisphere cats. He said, "Why did they call it off? He got up. He got up.
He got up where?
He got up. Why did they call it off? He got up. Yeah, he got up on the count of 9. He got up on the count of 9, and he was staggering all over the.
Staggering. He was holding onto the ropes for dear life, looking out at the ring.
He got counted out. Officially, that's a straight knockout. It's not a TKO. He was actually counted.
Yeah, he was out. He was done.
He was counted out, and I'm sure these same people might suggest that Anthony Joshua hasn't got the best of chin because he was stopped on his feet against Andy Ruiz. It's like that.
Joshua was in a way clearer mind than Joseph Parker was.
That's what happened from clean punching. I believe you heard it, Raph. I'm just bamboozled.
I heard a cat say, why they call it? Why they wave it off? He got up. But
the whole point of a count is not to get up; it's to show the referee you are able to continue. Yes, you have to get up by the count of 10, but you've also got to show the referee you're able to continue fighting. And he was in no state to continue fighting. He wasn't even in a state to walk across the ring.
Well, if you're not in a state to get up at the count of 8.
Exactly.
That's generally accepted. If you don't get up at 8,
most referees call it off.
Detriment. You need to be on your feet at 8, telling the referee by time in the UK. And Joe's no stranger.
Well, that's what it is because it's a standing 8 count. That's the whole point. That's why they give standing 8 counts. Really, really got the count of 8 to show the referee you have the ability to carry on fighting.
Yeah. Getting up at 9, don't cut it, mate.
He wasn't really up at 9 either. The ref got to 10 before he's fully up.
Yeah.
He was grabbing onto the ropes at 9.
God, I mean, what would have happened if the referee had allowed it to happen?
Oh, the referee would be slated.
Irresponsible.
Well, Joe probably been
highly irresponsible, very dangerous.
Serious hospital situation because if Joe Joyce had hit him again flush like that, he might not have woken up.
That's,
I mean,
Joe Joyce looked. I looked in the corner between rounds 10 and 11
Yeah.
when they showed the corner.
Yeah.
Joseph Parker looked like he'd gone 14 rounds.
yeah.
He was breathing heavy. His eyes were cut up. You looked over to Joe Joyce's corner. He looked like he was about to start the fight.
Joseph Parker, I saw significant signs of fatigue in Joseph Parker from the 5th round. From the 5th round, I could see it was pretty much, I could see which direction the thing was going in.
Joseph Parker kept going back to the ropes himself. Joe Joyce wasn't even putting him on the ropes or putting him into a corner. He walked back to the corner and back to the ropes every single time.
And when I watched the replay, there was a corner guy in Joe Parker's corner, and he was telling him to stay down till the very last second. Till the very last second at the end.
He'd say go, he'd hold him down until
stay down till the very last second. Not seconds out. It was literally the 1 second before the bell rang. Seconds out is normally a few seconds before that. No, he was keeping him down. So that's the level of understanding in his corner, Joseph Parker's corner, how fatigued he was.
One thing that I haven't seen anywhere, which again is shocking me, how has Andy Lee not been labasted for these tactics?
Yes, the tactics were questioned.
Do we have to go there?
Yeah, we do. We actually do, because you've brought him in fat when he's got 2 advantages over Joe Joyce, hands and foot speed.
Yeah.
And
he had no feet in that fight. No footwork.
No, he had no feet. Joe had better feet. Joe had faster, more nimble feet in that fight.
Because Parker was constantly doing the same thing round after. From the first round, he was doing this. They got to the middle of the ring. The bell went. Joseph Parker put himself on the ropes. Every single round, he did the same thing over and over and over again, thinking he could knock him out with one punch.
Surely,
his legs were gone.
Surely someone has to point out, at 240 pounds, at a stone lighter, Joe Parker could have navigated his way to a boring points win, potentially.
He was too busy. He was too busy being best buddies with Tyson Fury to bother with actually training properly for this fight.
All this stuff about what a great trainer Andy Lee is. And look at his
very questionable.
You've got someone with a worse gas tank, terrible feet, no improvement in his punch power, who's been in there as a slab of meat for a behemoth to bloody whale.
The funny thing I find is when Joseph Parker was coming up, the whole build about Joseph Parker was his hand speed and his power. That he threw combinations and hurt. If you look back, I think to like 2015, 16 time, people was talking about Joseph Parker as this guy with quick hands. His hands was really quick. He'd throw a lot of combinations.
Joe Louis,
completely different fighter.
Yeah,
a completely different fighter.
For real indeed. So then we look at we look at Joe Joyce versus Dillian White, and what I have to say about that is that the last outing, we can't just judge a man on his last outing. They say you're only as good as your last fight, but we can't really judge a man on his last outing in isolation. But it wasn't looking good. The mobility, I think Joe's far more mobile, and there's something which I always like to see in a fight. It's very important to me, and it's fluidity. Joe is far more the fluid guy. He's more fluid. Some people may see Joe as stiff. I see something different. I see a fluidity, and I'm often at odds with people about my perception of Joe Joyce.
I think when it comes to being, I can understand where you're coming from because his punches are fluid. His jab is very fluid. His right hand is very fluid. Yeah. But it for me, how I see him is how he plods forward. He rarely cuts the ring off. He just plods forward slowly, and that's where he looks stiff, in my opinion. But you are right. His punches are fluid. He has got a fluid jab.
It's not only punches, because if you had a footprint of how he moves around the ring. If you have a footprint if you had a virtual footprint of him moving around the ring, I would have to say he does a lot of traveling. He does a lot of traveling in that ring, a hell of a lot of traveling. So I would say that perhaps people underestimate how much movement he actually employs.
Eric, if you actually look at how he controls distance, he does do that with his feet and his jab. I think it's the way he carries himself. And I think it might, and I've been thinking about this recently because he's got a capoeira background, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Right, well, whenever I see someone who's done capoeira and they come to gymnastics, I know straight away because the way that they move is so different. And to me, it looks slow. They don't have snap in their movements or anything like that, but they can still get round and do gymnastics moves.
Yeah, he gets there, but it looks to me like.
But it's the same thing. So
you know when
people who do capoeira can do backflips, like a back handspring, whatever you want to call it. But to me, it's lacking all power. But it does have power. It just looks wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if that's got a carryover to the way that Joe boxes, that it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But
it's effective. I'm not saying it's not effective what he's doing. How he fights is very effective.
I think it's deceptive. I think that might land so well because it looks so different. People can't read it because he lands.
Yeah. So if you put those phantom footprints, and you look each round of what he's doing with his feet, how much of the canvas he's covering, then you realize that he actually is fluid.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look fluid.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's the whole thing that ties in with his punches as well. How he's slow, just slow Joyce. But as I've been saying for years, but if he's so slow, how come he keeps smashing fools in the face? Do you understand? So there's that big difference between, once again, it's the difference between the reality and perception. Do you see what I'm saying? And that there's a misperception with his movement there because he keeps on pressing, he keeps on covering distance, he keeps on moving. I mean, I see a lot of things in Joe Joyce that a lot of people don't see.
And he doesn't just walk forward; he does use his jab.
Sideways, he moves sideways. He almost step back for a second.
He does step back as well, Eric. He isn't just constantly. He does control distance with his jab and his feet.
He does control distance with his jab. He knows when to throw it. He knows when to put it out there.
He does. I see a lot of things in. I see a lot of things in Joe Joyce, and I've seen it for a long
time. The one thing I would like to see him do more is protect his chin because he's been knocked out in the amateurs. I think heavy punches could take him out quite potentially. Yeah. So Joseph Parker, in my opinion, is not a heavy puncher.
The thing is, I think with Joe Joyce is his forward thinking is his mind is always on attack mode. His hands are up most of the time because he has that guard where his hands are up, but he doesn't seem to use them to defend.
Parry and
he doesn't use them to defend. They're in the positions for him to use them to defend. It's not as if his hands are down by his waist or anything. They're up and they're in that position, but he just doesn't seem to react.
He doesn't
block stuff.
He doesn't block and he doesn't take his head off center.
Yeah, he doesn't do that. But he does keep.
The only time I've seen him do that is against Daniel Dubois because he could basically see the shot coming.
Yeah, he does keep his right hand up. His left hand is a little bit forward. The right hand is up. He was blocking the left hooks. A lot of left hooks of Parker were being blocked, but the right hooks of Parker was getting around his left hand. But there's more. There's more that he could do. There is more that he could do.
So back to Dillian, Raphie. What's your prediction?
Movement. He's got Joyce has got. He's just got better movement. He's got better movement. Deceptive movement. He's got deceptive movement. He doesn't just step forward, but he steps to the side. He does have. Dillian has got one punch. Dillian does have one punch power. So it's not like a walkover or a walk in the park. But I just think movement is key, and I think that Joyce has better movement than people realize, and I think that would be a key. That would be a key thing. That would be a key thing. Lining up in the constant pressure as well. I just fancy Joyce over Dillian. For those reasons, movement and the constant pressure. Dillian can win, but to me, the favorite is Joyce in that one.
I don't know what Dillian's going to be like when he comes back, because how he fought against Fury wasn't how he fights.
That's a big question.
He fought a totally.
It's very distinct low point.
He went into that Tyson Fury fight, and what he was doing was totally different to what he ever does.
It was a low point.
He came out southpaw, which I don't understand why he did it, even though that was probably the best. That was probably his best round.
Probably his best round. He might as well have stuck with it.
He might as well have stuck with it. But then he switched back, and he looked horrible. He looked stiff. His punches were like slapping punches.
Yeah.
I don't know what game plan they came up with for this fight. I don't know if because of the negotiations and everything. I don't understand what he was doing in that fight. His game plan, I don't understand any of it.
It wasn't great. It wasn't
It just wasn't. It wasn't him. It wasn't the same sort of style what he usually uses.
It wasn't the same style.
Whether he thought if he used that style, he'd have got knocked out and got stopped by Fury is a different matter. But I think he'd have probably been better off going in there being himself rather than going in there trying to do something he's never done before.
Yeah, going in there being himself and giving it a go, his style.
Giving it a go. He didn't look like that fighter who wanted to do that. Even before the fight, his whole demeanour, the friendly, laughing, all this and that. And those two don't like each other, though. This is the thing.
Well,
and
who do they like each other? Do they not like each other? I don't know.
Then Dillian White's persona in that whole build-up, when they finally did do the press conference and weigh-ins and stuff, it wasn't a Dillian White persona. It was a nice guy, just like, yeah, we're doing. It was a bit strange to me.
It was strange. It was weird. Dillian White, where's that? 6. Dillian White is 6. And we're approaching the midnight hour. Nobody's commented for when was the last time somebody commented? That's probably about half an hour ago. It's very weird. It's very, very weird. It's cool and the gang, but Raphie's got an early start in the morning, and probably so as ERF boxing, and so we've got up to number 6. That means we got 5 and onwards, but we're not going to do that today. No, we are not. The Raphie, showbiz up in here. Showbiz up in here. Raphie's going to leave you on a cliffhanger. Showbiz
next
up
time.
Next time. The tone says playing in the background, and that's all cool. And the gang, that's cool. And the gang, I thought every motherfucker up in here had died. Good to know that I was wrong. But this podcasting thing, it's quite weird and quite bizarre. This boxing podcast is probably one of the most niche elements, corners of the podcasting world that one could possibly wish to be in. Almost anything. You could probably do almost any other topic, probably making ashtrays, probably whittling wood, and you'd probably get more healthier views. But it's quite bizarre. Raphie just looks at it as like, at least I'm gaining some kind of expertise. So at least I'm getting my 10,000 hours in, and becoming an expert, even though it's in a niche market field, which doesn't really get any views. I mean, you watch some podcasts, you got hundreds, different genre, not boxing, but different genre. You get hundreds of views. In this genre, you just get a handful. It's quite bizarre. It's quite outrageous. But the way I look at it like this, I look at it philosophically. At least I'm getting in my 10,000 hours, and becoming an expert in a field. When I choose to transfer that into a more healthier market, then I'll have had my 10,000 hours under my belt. And but still, you talk about the things you want to talk about, things you like to talk about. One of the things I like to talk about is boxing. So I talk
Makes
boxing.
life easier, Raphie. It makes
Say that
life
again.
easier it makes life easier when you enjoy talking about it.
Well, yeah, whatever I talk about, there's other things I like talking about too, and so I'm gonna have to branch off into those. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to branch off into those. I'll talk boxing sometimes, but I gotta get a few more channels started independently, totally different to this. Probably not even to mention it, and so we get different subscribers for different channel names. Talking about a bunch of different things, each channel with its own speciality. So I'll use the knowledge, the hundreds of hours that I've put into this niche area, and I'll transfer it into perhaps, hopefully, more fruitful areas. But yeah, I do like talking boxing. It's good that we have some people who like to listen to myself and my guest talk boxing. So, hey, look at the bright side. Always look at the bright side. ERF Boxing, it's a pleasure to have you.
As usual, Raphie, as usual.
As per usual. Get your head down, mate. Get some sleep, and we'll catch you another time. Your final words, please. ERF Boxing, got his own channel.
Well, we all look forward to Manuel Charr versus Tyson Fury on pay-per-view. I'm out, Raphie.
Okay,
Peace.
my friend. That was the ERF Boxing. Much appreciation to him. Likewise, the John Dealey. Likewise, who was the first guest on? That was the Iron Kong, of course. That was the Iron Kong. Okay, thanks to everybody who took time to jump on the panel. Thanks to everybody who took the time to log in. That brings us to the end of the show. Talked about the Tyson Fury, the Anthony Joshua, the Manuel Charr situation. We talked about perception versus reality. We talked about people like a good story, regardless of its authenticity, so long as it makes them feel good. That's what it's all about. It's how it makes you feel. Truth. I don't know if people particularly care for the truth. It's been demonstrated that the truth is sometimes merely an obstacle to a good story. So, okay, it's food for thought. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribes. It's the comments. It's the shares. And it's the hitting the bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And it's getting those 10,000 hours in transferable skills. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. And we're out. Blessed. It's the original and the best wrap-up show. Boom.